And welcome in, guys. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Hope you're getting ready for a major week in soccer or football, whichever you call it. It is the same game, whether you're in North America or whether you're in Europe. And if you're a Wrexham fan, this is time for you to learn a little bit about what we have over here in Canada, because the Canadian fans have recently been listening and watching what's going on through me about Wrexham. So on today's show, it's Canadian, but we're on Wrexham on the weekend, we're on Canada on the weekend, and we're on Canadian Premier League also on the weekend. Loads of football, loads of soccer, so much to talk to, so much to get into, and eventually I will be at Cavalry FC games doing my media thing that I always do season to season. Can't wait for that to get going. We'll talk about the CPL opening weekend. Teams that are playing: Pacific FC taking on Vancouver FC, Ottawa taking on Halifax, Valor FC taking on York United, and Forge FC taking on Cavalry FC. We're also going to talk about CPL 2023 team outfits. Some beautiful colours coming through on there. Some real great work done. And also some not so great work, and you'll hear about it when I go through it on the 8 new outfits from the 8 clubs in the Canadian Premier League. We're also going to take you through the Canadian Premier League final table from last year, so you can get a look at what happened last year and summarise what you think is going to happen this year. Drop down below, make a comment, Canadian fans. We need to hear from you. We need to hear from you every pre-post game coming through the Canadian Premier League season, which there will be. Then we're going to talk about Canadian Championship, which is coming next week between the 18th and the 19th and the 20th. And there's 6 games coming through and a lot of action. That will decide what happens next in the Canadian Championship. This will be round 1. That's what we're going through. Let's get into it, and welcome to the show. Thank you, subscribers. Thank you for joining, and thank you for passing this around. Let's get into this. So I thought I'd let you have a look at the shirts before we talk about them. What do you think about them shirts? I mean, the red one's rather nice, yeah? The white one, not as good as this one. Not as good as this one. But the black one, we still haven't seen where the black one is yet. So keep your eyes fixed onto Ultimate Soccer. We'll let you know when it happens. But right now, you got to say, we got the red, we got the white, but we're waiting for the black. I'm quite happy about that because black's a shade, red and white, or white's a shade, but red's a colour. So let's get some colour into our outfits. We don't just need to be in shade land. Let's get some colours. What do you think? Do we need to add another colour to make it more brighter, to make it more fiery? Or do we need to just stay conservative? This red shirt is very flamboyant. What do you think? Let's take a look at some of the CPL games coming this weekend.
This is Ultimate Soccer with Soccer Steve.
So there you go, guys. The shirt's rather lovely, hey? Rather lovely. You make up your own minds which you think is the nicest shirt, but I'm still waiting for the black shirt. And the red shirt is rather flamboyant, which is better than what we are normally, being conservative with our outfits. And the white shirt, I'm not too hot on the white shirt. This is a nice white shirt. This shirt was given to me by the association, CSA, like you know, but this is a nice design. This is what I used to love the team wearing. I'm a big Canada fan, but I don't mind Adidas on the national team. I think it looks rather striking. Now we're going to talk about CPL opening weekend. And remember one thing, guys, during the shows, it's Wrexham, it's Canada, and it's the Canadian Premier League. Those are the 3 straight angles that we push on this show. And we also dot some nice sugar and spice in between as well with short little blurbs. But that's where we're going for the rest of the season, moving forward. And got to say, big up to the Wrexham fans. Fantastic turnout last show. I'm absolutely bloody amazed. Unbloody believable. Big up to the Wrexham. That's how you support a soccer channel, guys. Unreal. Fantastic. And the Canadian fans have done just the same. So we're all in one great place all together. And I tell you now, the game's coming up this weekend. Pacific taking on Vancouver FC. Take Pacific. I think this is going to be a bad day for Pacific. New guys on the block. They will finish last in the season. I can't see them getting out of the basement. And they're starting to build a team. They haven't got a team. So it's going to be a tough time for Vancouver FC. Take Pacific to win the opening game. Ottawa taking on Halifax Wanderers. I got to say, this is an interesting game. Champions Ottawa should win this one. But you got to say, Halifax down there in Florida, nice training, coming back home soon, getting on the pitch, out in the sun, getting ready for the chilly start of the season. In Ottawa, I'm still going to take Ottawa for the win, but Halifax is definitely in there with a shot. Valor taking on York United. Valor definitely should be the team to take the points, but I got to say, with the offensive moves that York United can bring, they are definitely in this game. A draw is probably the best result here. It could go either way, and it wouldn't be a shock if York United grabs a win on the road day one. And finally, Forge FC taking on Cavalry FC. Remembering last season how that ended between Forge and Cavalry at Tim Hortons Field. Got to tell you, I think we're in for a little bit of a fight, a little bit of a battle. Not an unfriendly game, but a real contest. Take Forge for the opening game. Now, next up, we're going to talk about Canadian Premier League 2023 team outfits. New designs. 8 teams, new designs. Feast your eyes on these outfits. They're absolutely beautiful. Some major, major colours, and then not so major. You'll hear about it right now. Enjoy. Starting with Vancouver FC, the home kit's black and the road kit is red and black. I like the road kit. I do not like that home kit. I won't tell you why, but black is not a colour. It's a shade. Let's have some colour for Vancouver. You're on the coast. Think about that. Next up is Atletico Ottawa. The home kit, red and white stripes, changed slightly on the design, not much. But if you look at last year's, you can see the differences. And the road kit is a beautiful sky blue. Forge FC have got a really clever idea on the home opener. They're going to give away medals to the home fans on the home opener. Very clever idea, smart marketing. All that does is solidify, connect the fan to the player who win those medals. Very smart idea, Forge FC, and very strikingly classic Forge FC home and away. I like both outfits. Cavalry FC up next. Again, we've got black. Black. What are we doing with black? That's not a colour, it's a shade. I like it on the red shirt, Cavalry. There's a bit of shading on the red, but fully black. I prefer last season's and traditionally the green road kit of Cavalry FC. Take a look. Tell me what you think. Pacific FC, beautiful colours. Traditional purple and a blue road kit. I tell you what, they look very smart either on the road or at home. York United, there's your 2 kits for York United. Slight changes. I prefer the white one. I really do not like that blue collar on the green shirt. Just my taste. Tell me what you think. There's the boys sitting there. And SAMMY ADEKUGBE sitting there from the right. Last year he was playing with Cavalry in red and green. Now he's playing with York in white and green. Moving along now, Valor FC. Both kits are in there. We've got dark and dark and dark and dark. Yes, Valor FC haven't changed colours too much, but slight design changes on both. Not many pictures out there. That's the best we can do for you right now. Looking at the next set and the last set, Halifax United, strikingly classic. Strikingly classic. Primary kit and the alternative kit, very smart looking for Halifax. Those are your outfits for the 2023 season. So what do you make of all those outfits? Did you like them? Did you not like them? Did you see what I was saying? I'll tell you what, I am not a fan of black on any football strip unless it's Juventus or possibly Newcastle United with the black and white stripes that really makes it uniform. But solid black? Why? Where's the artistry in that? Where's the design in that? You got to say Vancouver FC home kit, black, complete, and Cavalry FC on the road, black, complete. I am not in favour of that, especially when you think about Cavalry FC last year with that beautiful green second jersey. Absolutely striking. So on the new outfits, I like a lot of what I saw, but when it comes to the black shirts, nah, I'll never buy one. I'm not going to roast in the sun just so you can make $119. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I like colour. I like colour. I like colour. Colour. It sells itself, yeah? So let's have a look quickly at the last table, the CPL table. Then you can feel where the teams are going to be finishing. And don't forget, Edmonton FC is now defunct, not part of the league. I'm quite sad about that. There's a little tear inside of my face. You can't see it. But I am quite attached to Edmonton because of all the, well, let's face it, all the World Cup international qualifying games for Canada that I've announced at the stadium in Edmonton, Commonwealth Stadium, also down at Swangard, down in the years, and overseas. That's really one of the things that makes me sad about Edmonton not being in the Canadian Premier League right now. But it is what it is, and it's not mismanagement. It's just that city does not take to a football team, partially because the soccer associations don't get on side. You see, when one soccer business meets another soccer business, this business says, what are you going to give me? This business says, well, I can't tell you right now because we're just starting to get off the ground. So it's all about what can you do for me with soccer associations. CSA, has never had any friends with EDSA or EDSA's next door neighbors, EDMSA. All the local corporations that are in Edmonton just stay away. And all the professional teams that come in, they just stay away from them. They don't help them. They don't get kids in the crowd to make it a real good sound. They don't get free tickets out to the kids that maybe one day when they have kids, they bring them. The short-sightedness that I see sometimes in the business practice within teams, not teams that have come in and left Edmonton, it's a sad state of affairs, and it's sad because the people at Edmonton would support a team if you did it properly. But anyway, I'm just saying, take a look at the table. Edmonton FC is now defunct. Vancouver FC comes in as the new guys on the block. Have a look. Now, rounding off with the Canadian Championship coming at you April 18th to April 19th and 20th. 6 big games coming on. The first game we're talking about, Forge FC taking Laval. Laval's got a decent little team. I've got to tell you, they're exciting. They're in with an outside chance of maybe 1,000 to 1 to win this game. But I've got to tell you, it's not impossible. And Laval is a little footballing hotbed, but they're taking on Forge at Tim Hortons Field. Got to think Tim Hortons Field is going to only have one winner, and that's the home team, Forge FC. I think probably it's going to end up maybe 2-0, maybe 2-1, maybe 3-1, but somewhere in that realm. Next one up, you got to say Montreal, CF Montreal taking on Vaughan. I only have one thing to say. Vaughan, you got to change that logo. You got to change that logo. Come up with something original. That is the national team's logo. That is not cool. Really not cool. So I love what Vaughan do, but please get someone on site to change your logo. I know that someone sent you a new logo. Get it up there. What are you waiting for? But on the day, got to say, CF Montreal taking on Vaughan. There's only one winner, and it's Montreal. And I tell you what, could be quite a decent score. Next up, CSS Rovers taking on Valor FC. You know, another one of those games where it shouldn't go the way it could go, but CSS Rovers is in with a little chance, a very little chance. If they came up with a staunch performance of their lives, they could probably take this one. I'm not saying they're going to, but I'm saying they could. I'm saying they could. But on the day, I'm simply saying Valor to win on the road. But this is one that could be a shocker. Keep your eyes on CSS Rovers taking on Valor. I tell you, it could be a shocker, but I'm expecting Valor to take the win. York United taking on Vancouver FC. The new guys on the block taking on York United. I got to say, Di Rosario and the guys probably will make light work of this, probably a 2-3-0. You York United fans, you're in for a great game of football. Remember, Vancouver FC is still playing friendly games, trying to find themselves. They haven't found themselves yet. But I got to say, on the day, York United and the guys and the fans behind them, a complete team facing off a team in the build. You hear what I'm saying? I got to say, York United is definitely going to be the guys moving forward. Now, this 5th game is very interesting. Back over there on the other side of the country, on the coast, Halifax Wanderers taking on champions Ottawa Athletic. And I gotta say, everybody would expect Ottawa to win this game. But at the end of the day, you could not write Halifax off. They've been away, had a great training session, had a great camp. Things are looking good. They've been in the sun. They've had a lot of fun. They're coming back home to do the business. If they beat Ottawa, it is not a shock. It's not a shock. What they showed last year in Halifax was how good they are at home. They've got to continue that, but bring it up one more level so that those big teams leave with nothing. Halifax has a big chance in this one, but you would expect Ottawa to take it. And finally, on the 20th, Pacific FC taking on Vancouver's, well, it would be Vancouver's rivals from a while ago, but now their rivals is Cavalry FC pretty much, and pretty much will be moving forward. But you do have Vancouver FC in between. So you got now Cavalry on the west, Vancouver FC, and then Pacific on the coast. So there's 3 teams on the coast, very close together. I'm quite surprised that they bedded Vancouver in Surrey, per se, or Langley, per se. Very surprised with that. But hey, let's see if it works. On the day, I really think that Jim's teams, James Merriman, will take out Tommy Wilden Jr.'s team. I'm saying Pacific wins over Cavalry, probably a 2-1, but it's not impossible for Cavalry to go out to the coast and get a win. Here's the point. Both teams have been shifting players in and out. James Merriman has a settled team with new guys. So does Tommy Wheeldon Jr. James Merriman's team are playing at home. Tommy and the guys are traveling. So are the fans. I got to say, at this stage of the season where form isn't a known factor, but last year's form is, I've got to feel that maybe Pacific FC does take this one and moves into the next round, leaving Cavalry looking in from the outside. But if Cavalry do win, it's not a shocker. That's all I'm saying. So there you go, guys. That's what we got for the Canadian Corner this week. We'll be bringing Canadian Corner many, many weeks in the future. We're going to follow the Canadian Premier League. We're going to follow Canadian Championship. And we're also going to follow Wrexham in the National League and into League 2 and into League 1 and into the Championship. And who knows? Maybe into the Premiership. That's a great story. PFC. That's a great story. Canadian soccer, that's a great story. And the Canadian Premier League, that's a great story. Great stories what we're following, just for us to get together to talk about great football and basically to enjoy the beautiful game. That's all I got for you on Canadian Corner. Come back for the next one, and up on the weekend, you know what's coming. It's Canadian Championship next week, Premier League on the weekend, and another big game for Wrexham. Cheers, guys.
This is Ultimate Soccer with Soccer Steve.